Hey, Good Sam, this is Pastor Jed, and you know what I've been doing? I've been watching highlights. My team won yesterday. They won big time. I've been watching the highlights over and over and over again. It's beautiful. I'm so happy. I don't know about you, if you're a football fan or not, but I think we all have these highlight reels. They're highlight reels of our life. When our kids thrive, when our kids get married, when the grandbabies come, when we get that new job or that promotion, we get into that new house, that goes on the highlight reel. We love to talk about the highlights. We love to show people pictures. We love to make posts just demonstrating how great our life is. That's the highlight reel. But we also have a lowlight reel. That's the reel that we don't like to think about. That's the reel that we don't like to talk about. That's the reel that we don't want anyone to see. On Sunday, we gathered together to continue our series, I Love My Church. We were reminded that the lowlight reel has something important to teach us about faith. On Sunday, we looked at Peter, and we looked at the lowest moment of his life. The moment in which he denies Jesus not once, not twice, but 3 times. He disowns Jesus. He steps back from Jesus. He curses to make the point that he doesn't even know who Jesus is. When he does this, he breaks relationship with Jesus, but he also breaks relationship with himself. I think we know what this looks like because we too have also denied Jesus. We deny Jesus for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes the heat comes on us. Sometimes it's hard to follow Jesus. Sometimes it's hard to keep the commitments that we have made to Jesus. And so we step aside from that relationship. We do things that we know will break Jesus' heart. We claim that we really don't know Jesus the way that we have promised to know Jesus, that we aren't going to follow Jesus the way that we have promised to follow Jesus. It's the lowlight reel. But the beautiful thing is that God gives us second chances. He gives us third chances. He gives us fourth chances. He keeps on giving us chances to come back in relationship with Him. Now we know this part of Peter's story. Why? Because Peter has told on himself. Peter has disclosed this lowlight reel. We know that Peter can do this because of what happens at the end of the gospel after Jesus dies, after he is resurrected, after he meets Peter and has a beautiful conversation. Peter has denied Jesus 3 times. What does Jesus do? He reinstates Peter 3 times. He asks Peter, "Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me?" If you've fallen away from Jesus, I want you to know that Jesus wants you to know that he's coming after you, that he wants to call you by name, and he's got an important question for you. He wants you to know that he loves you, and he wants to know if you love him. You see, when we are motivated by love, we come back, we forgive, we put our heart back into play. Jesus loves you. Jesus wants to know if you love him, and Jesus wants you to continue journeying with him. I love that as a church, we're continuing to reach out to new people. We're continuing to take the good news of Christ into our community. We're continuing to let people know that God has a good plan for their lives. And they get to find Jesus, follow Jesus in our church, in our community. Thanks so much for being a part of our church. Keep on praying that God would bring us the people that need to discover who Jesus is so they can follow Jesus, become his disciple, and then make other disciples. I'll see you on Sunday. Blessings.